Shay Russell for mining.com.au, and joining me today is James Wilson, the CEO of Alchemy Resources. James, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Shay, how are you? It's good to be here.
It's great to have you back on, especially as it looks like it's going to be all systems go for you soon enough. Now, you've recently completed surface mapping at two of your prospects, the Overflow prospect and the Yellow Mountain prospect. Let's talk about the Overflow one first. Tell me, what did this surface mapping reveal?
Yeah, well, the whole idea of doing the mapping and sampling that the guys just finished, week before last, was to pull the two projects we've got, Overflow and Yellow Mountain, and talking about Overflow now, pull it apart structurally, put it back together, see what we get, try and look at it with a new lens. These are old deposits, and look at the path forward in terms of next steps with drill targets and whatnot. And we were pleasantly surprised by the results we got.
We're going to drill into the results in just a moment, pardon the pun there. But let's talk about what you discovered at Yellow Mountain first.
Yeah, no problem. So Yellow Mountain sits about 20 kilometres down the road from Overflow. It's just next to the Kingston Resources mine, just down the road there as well. And the guys went and took some samples to some old shafts and also some of the structures along strike there. Most notable results in the ASX announcement today was one of the samples came back at 28.4% copper and 1.59 grams gold. That's a big result. It was basically sampling the old mullet from the old shafts. They were mining this stuff in the 1800s. This is the gear they were leaving behind when they were smelting other gear. So there's certainly some decent metal in the ground. There's some surface samples that were done as well that were in situ, 2% copper at surface, 2.34 grams gold. And 8.5% lead in that as well. So some pretty awesome base metals results. Still there, still at surface, never been developed, and hasn't had a rock chip since 2001 and hasn't been drilled since the 80s.
What are the plans to sort of, really test these rock chip samples to see what's laying at depth?
Yeah, well, that's the next step. Obviously, the drill program has been put in place. We've submitted the approvals to go forward with the drill program at Yellow Mountain. We're just waiting for the requisite heritage and government clearances to push forward with that. So that should hopefully be sometime in October. And with a bit of luck, we'll be drilling shortly afterwards.
Now, we started today's conversation talking about Overflow. Could we go through some of the results on that one now?
Yeah, that's a cracker, actually. We already have a 342,000 ounce gold equivalent resource that we put out late last year. And the idea was to do the structural work, pull it apart, like we said earlier, and to really look at we're now actually looking at the near surface areas. And so the guys were taking a lot of surface samples there. As you can see on today's results, we've got a face there that's in situ, it's in the pit, it's right at surface. One sample going 22.7 grams per tonne, the next going up 4.9. I think the other one going sort of slightly lower than that. So you've got overall, you're looking at a 9 gram face there. So that's not bad in terms of, that's just the gold result. And there's obviously copper and lead off the back end of that. They also took some samples to the north and to the south, and we were getting, a 14.95 gram per tonne gold result in an old pit up to the north of the old mullock, the old spoils. So, the structure does go up to about 300, anywhere up to 1,200 metres north along strike. You could double or triple the size of a resource in that sort of area very, very quickly. So, look, it's the more you drill, the more you find, and that's exactly what we try and achieve out here. Is we've done the work, look at the structure, generate some targets, and then push forward with testing those targets.
Now, James, these are clearly very impressive results. How is it that these two prospects have gone hidden for so long, or for the past 25 years?
Well, in Alchemy's case, we earned into these projects some time ago, but our focus has largely been over in Western Australia with the lithium and the gold, and more recently the Briar. And so we've had a lot on, and now we're just turning our attention to that. And also, the price of the metals has turned around very, very sharply as well. So, copper and gold, or copper gold in New South Wales, is very much in demand as well. And so we ticked it over last year. We got the resource out there, started slowly having a look at things. We can afford to do it, as we've sort of spoken about earlier. We've got 3 million in the bank, and now our attention is turning squarely towards this area as a very, very high priority target.
Listen, James, this is awesome news, and it's great to see these prospects getting the love that they deserve. I hope to have you back on, and we can talk about some of these results going forward. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Shay. Much appreciated.